Hi everyone. This video is going to cover the last little bit of graphing that we need to talk about, which is our linear inequalities. So yesterday we talked about graphing linear equations, and we're going to use that same concept today with the inequalities. So first thing we need to do is review some of our basic information. So the first thing that we need to remember when we are talking first about inequalities is anytime you multiply or divide by a negative, we need to reverse the direction of our inequality sign. So the same thing is true here with our linear inequalities as well. We're also going to take similar concepts to what we did with our inequalities with the inequality sign itself. The first thing that we need to acknowledge is the type of line that we're going to draw. And again, it's based off of that sign. So if we look here, we are going to draw a dotted line if we are dealing with the inequality sign less than or greater than. So think about it very similar to the open circle. Open circle meant that value was being discluded as part of our solution. The dotted line is saying, hey, all of these values are not a part of the solution. We're going to use a solid, or sometimes referred to as a closed line, when the equality factor is there. So less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. The next thing that we need to talk about with our inequalities is our shading. So this is a little bit different in terms of shading. We're not just shading from to the left or to the right, but we need to be looking to shade whether we're shading above the line or below the line. Above is going to be when we're dealing with the inequality sign, greater or greater than. Below is going to be when it's less than or equal to. So we'll talk about another method that we can also use if you're not necessarily sure where above and where below is. So if we look at this first example here, we have 2y plus 3x is less than or equal to 8. First thing to notice, it's not in our slope-intercept form, so we need to start by solving for y first. First thing we're going to do is to move the 3x to the other side by subtracting it. When we do, we have 2y is less than or equal to. Now remember, the whole goal is slope intercept. So we're going to write our x value first, followed by y. Next thing we have to do, divide both sides by 2, and every term divided by 2, which leaves us with y is less than or equal to. We want to leave that as an improper fraction because that's representing our slope, plus 4. From here, we're going to graph it just like we would if it was an equation. So first point is our y-intercept, and that y-intercept is at 4. And then we're applying our slope. So we're going to go down 3, and we always run to the right. So we're running to the right too. Minimum, we need 3 points. But since we're looking to include shading as well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a couple of additional points, just so I can have a really defined line. So I have 2 more points than what we actually need. Now, usually what we do when we're graphing an equation is we just go right into drawing a solid line. But this is where we need to ask ourselves, what type of line are we going to draw? So if we look at our inequality sign, since we're looking at less than or equal to, equality means we are going to draw a solid or a closed line. Now, the next thing that we need to do, since it's an inequality, is we need to shade. Now, this sign is saying, again, less than or equal to, so we're going to shade below. But what a lot of people struggle with is identifying what side is below. So if you're one of those individuals, what you can do to confirm which area of the coordinate plane you're going to graph is pick 2 points. You want to pick one point that is below your line and then 1 point somewhere on the other side. Doesn't matter necessarily what point you pick, but one of the things that you'll see is I picked 0, 0. 0, 0 is the easiest point to pick because y equals 0, x equals 0. If we look back to our equation, if we have the ordered pair 0, 0, that means we'd have 2 times 0 plus 3 times 0 is less than or equal to 8. 2 times 0 is 0, plus 3 times 0 is 0. 0 is, in fact, less than or equal to 8. So that means our shading is going to go below our line, confirming the shading area over here. If we were to pick this point here, 3, 3, what would happen we'd have 2 times 3 plus 3 times 3 is less than or equal to 8. 2 times 3 is 6 plus 9, that's 15. 15 is not in fact less than 8. So again, confirming where that shading should go. If we look at one more example together, so if we look at, let's look at example 3. So save example 2 for you to work on. We have 5x minus 4y is less than 12. Again, the key factor here is we need this to be in slope-intercept. So we're going to start by subtracting 5x to the other side, which gives us a negative 4y is less than negative 5x plus 12. From here, we're dividing every term by negative 4. Now keep in mind, we're dividing by a negative. So, according to our property, we have to reverse the direction of our inequality sign. Now we're going to simplify our slope. So 5 over 4 doesn't simplify, but we're taking a negative divided by a negative, which will become a positive 5/4 x. 12 divided by negative 4, negative 3. From here, we have our y-intercept at negative 3. We're going to apply our slope up 5 over 4. I'm going to do that 2 different times here so we can really see our line. So from here, we need to ask ourselves what type of line we're going to draw. So again, we look to our inequality sign. Since our inequality sign is just greater than means we're using a dotted line. And what that dotted line is saying is that all of these values or order pairs that fall specifically on the line are not a part of the solution set. Last part that we need to talk about is our shading. Since this is saying y is greater than, we're going to shade above the line towards the greater values. Now again, keep in mind, if you're not visually seeing why that shading is or why that is above, pick a point above, pick a point below, plug it in, and wherever you end up with a true inequality, that's the direction that you shade. Now, if we look at these next 2 examples here, think about these as your special cases. So we'll do example 4 together. This is an example where we just have one variable. So x minus 3 is greater than or equal to 2. So if we don't have a y to solve for, that means we're going to solve for the next best thing. So we're going to solve for x. So all we need to do is add 3 to the other side, and we're left with x is greater than or equal to 5. Now, from what we talked about yesterday, we know that this is going to be a vertical line, and it's going to be a vertical line at that value of 5. But keep in mind, we need to validate what specifically the type of line is going to be. So we look to the inequality sign, greater than or equal to. Equality means it's going to be a solid line. Now remember, if you're not sure how to tell the difference between your vertical and your horizontal line, pick 3 order pairs that make that true, meaning x is 5, and they were going to fall directly on that line. The last part is our shading. Since it's saying x is greater than or equal to, this one's a little bit different because it's no longer shading above or below. It's technically talking about shading to the left, to the right. So if we think about the actual values of x, the greater values of that are going to be to the right. So I want you to complete the example problems that we didn't get a chance to cover in this video. Check your work on the completed notes part on Schoology, and then after you're done with that, start working on your quiz review. Answers to the quiz review are also posted on Schoology. If you have any questions on the quiz review, just make sure to make a little note of it. That way we can cover it tomorrow before your quiz.